What's up, guys? So, I've been wondering about a certain topic when it comes to business and in the car business primarily. So, a very a very common question about the car business is what happens if you buy a financed car and you want to sell it? What happens then? A lot of people, what they're doing, they're calling it a striker, or you're having someone else assume the loan, or doing some shady business, because that's all shady business. You got an auto loan, you got to talk to that bank. Okay, so that's what you have to do. I had an example. I had a Toyota Camry. I had a 2012 Toyota Camry, and I owed 12,500 right here. Okay, I don't know. I don't know if it's backwards, but there you go. So I owed 12,500. I was late like 4 months, and they still didn't repossess it. I was, well, 3 months. So basically, what I'm trying to say is you can sell a financed car and you can make money off of it. You can make good money off of it because you're partnering with the bank that got you that car. But it's a process. It's a process involving, you know, getting someone else's credit, having them approved for the $12,000 car that I had. It was a 2012 Toyota Camry. And I was working with Westlake Financial. So basically, you guys can sell a financed car, okay? It doesn't matter how much in debt you are. If they gave you that car, if the bank gave you that car, it's your car. You just owe the bank money, okay? More than likely, they're not gonna repossess because they lose money repossessing cars and selling at auction. So they might as well just settle with you directly, because you owe the bank money, you know. Now, how much you pay is negotiation. You negotiate, like this is how people can make a lot of money in America negotiating with the banks, because millionaires out here, they're leveraging debt. They're leveraging debt as much as possible. And this is why they are millionaires, because they become the bank, and the bank can be an evil concept of currency in America, but it can also be a positive because banks give people money and they help people out when you need money to buy something. If you need a car, the bank is there to give you the money. If you work, if you're making money, then the bank will give you a car if you negotiate with a dealership and whatever you got to do, like $1,000 down payment, $2,000 down payment, 600 credit score, 700 credit score, maybe zero down. That's good. Like, if you're getting zero down on cars, bro, you can leverage a lot of money and make a lot of money, selling cars, but negotiating the debt with selling the cars too at the same time. Now, I don't know how deep I can get into this, because I had a loan that I was upside down in, and I wanted to get rid of it because I was renting out cars on Turo, and they cut my partnership. They basically said, "Screw you, we're not doing business with you anymore," and they cut my they just companies can be evil and business is evil at times. It is what it is. But to really state this, you can sell a finance car and make money off of it. Like, the whole thing about selling is that when you sell something, you're supposed to make money off of it no matter what. If you don't, you're wasting time, and you're selling it. Like, this is what just amazes me, because I see all this Facebook Marketplace stuff, and people are listing things, and you're not being able to make money off of it. Why are you listing it up for sale? You might as well just keep it or throw it away. If you're not making money on a sale, throw it away, or give it away, or give it out for free. Because that's what you're supposed to do. When you're selling something, no matter how much you bought it for, you're supposed to make money off of it. And that's still the number one like the number one rule of buying and selling, bro. If you're buying things and you're selling it, then you're just doing it as like a nonprofit. You're just giving things away, giving money away and all that, and you shouldn't. So to repeat what I said, is that typically, if you're 12,000 in debt, if you're $20,000 in debt, if you're $30,000 in debt, since I know the value of debt, you can theoretically call your bank, and it's not theoretically, it's all true, bro. You just gotta call your bank. If you're 3 months behind, if you're 3 or 4 months behind and they still haven't repossessed your car, it's because that bank wants to do business with you. They still want to collect some money off of you, even if it's not 12 or 20 grand that you owe. They sometimes when you call a bank, you're like, hey, I don't got the 20 grand. How much can I pay you right now to give me the title of the car? And that's what it is. They'll start negotiating with you. If you owe 20 grand, sometimes you can negotiate that down to 10 grand. And then if you sell that car, guess what your profit is? You make 10 grand off that car. So let's say you go out and buy a $30,000-$40,000 car and you're not able to pay back the payments. There's a system in place. You got three. I was looking and doing research because there's 3 different options. Either you keep paying the payments, or you negotiate the payments down, or you settle completely and then you have to liquidate and you can make money off of it, Nothing in America should ever be sold unless you're flipping a profit for it. If you're not flipping a profit for it, you're in a non-profit and you're giving things away no matter what you owe or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you shouldn't be like that, because people, they don't end up calling the bank. Like it's so it's a big issue. It's a big issue in America, because when you are in the hole with a debt, you're supposed, I think it's more of a legal issue thing, or it's more like what you should do. You should call the bank. If you're in the hole, you need to call your bank and you need to talk to them. Hey, I'm not able to pay this. What can you do? And that's how you get out of the hole and you make your credit better. And then, if you're lucky, you make some money. So, and it's not being lucky, it's the fact that you need to call your bank. If you are 3 or 4 months behind and you're scared of a car being repossessed, call your bank and they will prevent that from happening. And they will make you some money if you sell that car. You gotta post it on Facebook, make sure you remove the license plate, because I sold a freaking car with a license plate. I was stupid. And then now I'm getting a speeding ticket from the same guy driving a license plate. So when you do business in America, make sure you do it right, because if not, bad things can happen. And number one thing, like I said, I'll repeat this again: call your bank, tell them you want to settle the loan, negotiate the debt, and settle the loan. More than likely, they'll slash off the price 60% of the auto loan. More than likely. So again, if you owe 12 grand, this bank that I was working with, they want to give me a $12,000 car for $4,500 because I was settling and negotiating with them on the debt. And, and I think it's like that with most banks, because, when people become broke, super broke, and they owe money to the banks are going to have to write that off as a loss, because, they didn't collect the payment from you. They're not getting their money. If they're not getting your money, they're going to have to go to the next reasonable thing, which is, settling a debt. And settling debt negotiation, I've done settling debt with credit cards, and I was about to do it with this Toyota Camry. I was about to sell it and make like 6 grand on it, but I screwed up. I didn't know this at the time, and I called the bank and I told them I did a voluntary surrender, and I had 2 cars. I owed money on 2 cars, and I regret it, because I failed. I failed the car business just because of that, and just because I bought a car that I couldn't pay back, or didn't want to pay back. There's a system that will help you out, and you can make some good money off of it. But and I'm not a certified I'm not a certified financial manager or whatever, but I got freedom of speech, and I'm willing to say what I want to say, okay? Like, the whole thing about America, the banks were there for you. to get money. If you're broke, you get money, even if you're working. Okay, that's what it is. And then they have the opportunity, the banks have opportunities to make money off of you. And that's normal. That's how it should always be. You know, selling you them loans. And that's how selling should always be. When you're selling something, you need to make money. You need to do a profit off it. If you're not, you're not doing it how it should be. You're not doing it correctly. So yeah, so the people out there, I want y'all to have comfort in knowing that you can call your bank and you can negotiate for less than what you owe, and then you can have someone, you know, approved for whatever the value of the car is, and have their bank pay your bank, and your bank will pay you the remainder of what the settlement was for. So like I said, if you have a $20,000 car, your bank is willing to settle at $12,000. You make what? $8,000. $8,000 in profit for one car. And this is why, you know, and I thought this is how dealerships were running their business, but they're not. All they do is they just market up their value, and I don't even know if like dealerships use loans or not. And I'm sure they use loans, bro. Like I'm sure dealerships are using loans, and I don't know how they're doing it. But, you know, anytime you have money, just know, or you have an asset, just know you have the ability to become a bank, you know, because it's all a business. Debt is a business. Selling cars is a business, obviously. Collections is a business, you know, so it's just, what I've really learned these past few years, this is why I'm not good at like communicating, dude. I'm so bad at talking, but you know, and I hope my social skills get better, because I think I'll be able to become a very successful person, especially with the things that I know in business. But yeah, just let that sink in a bit. If you're in the hole, if you're 3 months behind, 4 months behind, just know it's okay. A lot of people have gone in your position. It is what it is. You know, if you're broke, you lose a job, it is what it is, man. I mean, you know, like in America, you have to stay employed to survive, and it is what it is. But you know, but also the one thing is about jobs, like not every job is perfect, and some jobs can be perfect and are perfect, and you know, some people like myself still end up losing the job or whatever. But I think for me, like when I was working for companies, like I just, you know, my whole destiny, what I feel like is to work for myself, man. And that's really what I've always wanted to do. Like ever since I started working for people. And you know, and I know it's a long journey, because I now I'm trying to sell jewelry, and you know, there's a lot of research that I had to do to try to sell some jewelry online, and I'm starting to do TikTok shop. So I mean, I'm gonna see how that goes. But I still do delivery driving to pay some bills. But yeah, the reason that I know all about this car business stuff is because, like I said, I was in the Turo business. I had 3 cars renting out and leased out, and you know, for whatever reason, I guess I was a dick to the people, and they cut my partnership, and I was in the hole, 15-20 grand, I think, just about. And you know, and I lost these cars, and I was like talking to the bank after I voluntarily surrendered, and like, dude, you could have done this. You could have done this instead of giving us the cars back. You could have sold it yourself, and you could have negotiated the debt yourself, and you could have made money off of it. And the guy at Westlaw, he told me this after that shit happened, and I was like, well, what can I do? I can't do that anymore. But next time I know, when I go and buy a car and I leverage debt to go buy a car, I know what to do. Just don't make the payment on it. Make that credit get dinged a little bit. Post it up on Facebook Marketplace. Have somebody else approve for the value. You know, and it's a process. And I think I might be able to do it if I buy a finance car again. I think I'll be able to sell it. But just know that debt negotiations and debt settlements is very big, and not many people know that. Not many people know that. And you know, and it's okay, because when you have a loan, you're supposed to fulfill your end of the contract. You're supposed to pay every month. That's how you become a good credit borrower. And y'all let me know what happens. I don't have any liability to what happens to y'all. This is just me expressing my opinion. I hope y'all don't have much hate or whatever. I just wanted to throw that out there on the internet because there was no video explaining how to sell a finance car, which it's pretty. You can tell how uneducated people are when it comes to finances, and it's not a good thing because, you can be in the hole, not being able to pay your debt, but so yeah.